This is the Bennigan's restaurant chicken cordon bleu recipe that I figured out how to do in the late 1980s.
Hey, it's been a while since I did a video, and yesterday I bought 40 pounds of chicken breast from Costco, bought a case, and I thought I'd show you what I used to do back in 1987 at Bennigan's. So, first of all, I took the chicken breast yesterday and I cut off all the fat and some of the other stuff, and I saved that. I cooked it up, saved it, and I'm gonna give some to Addison here. Here you go. Yeah, Addison likes some of that chicken scrap. I think I'm gonna make maybe some chicken treats for Addison a little bit later. But that was what I did yesterday, and all I did was I just basically trimmed the chicken breast, and I got the really thick ones because the thick chicken breasts work a lot better for this chicken cordon bleu, Bennigan style. So what you have to do is, after you've trimmed it, you're gonna take the chicken and you're gonna cut it in half or in thirds, depending on how thick that chicken breast is. So you're gonna just take that and you're gonna cut it thin. And that one looks like it's thin enough to just be halves. After that, you can take some saran wrap, cover your chicken breast, and thin it out to about 1/8 of an inch. I keep a scrap bowl when some of the chicken breast looks like it's going to fall apart or fall off, so I take that and I just put that over there. And then I take these and I just stage them. So I've already been doing this morning, and I've got a big pile of chicken breasts. I'll show you the next step, where we start to stuff the chicken breast with some different cheese, bacon, ham, and red pepper. One of the things that I like to do with some of the pieces that are a little bit too small, I'll still pound them thin, so I'll still make them a thin chicken breast, but then I can save those for other recipes. This is not going to fold into a cordon very well, so I just save those for ones that are not the real big chicken breasts. One of the tricks to pounding out that chicken to 1/8 of an inch is you need a really good heavy-duty mallet, and then you'll want to put a towel down onto the countertop and then your cutting board. If you don't do that, it seems to vibrate a lot, and that counter is really good. It's going to make a lot of noise. You can also, if you take the saran wrap and you do a double saran wrap, it'll hold up a little bit better. And don't worry about the making the chicken to where it's completely all like uniform in size. Just make sure it's uniform in thickness, because when we end up making those into cordons, we're going to shape them, and you'll see how they don't have to be perfect. They don't even have to, all the chicken has to touch it all at once. Okay, for this next step, I just kind of wing it. The things that you'll need are some Kojak cheese, some Colby cheddar cheese, Kojak, some ham, some bacon, and then a scrambled egg with some water. So just like an egg mixture. And the original Bennigan's recipe called for cayenne pepper, and I like cayenne pepper. So I'm not sure how much this is. It gives it a good spicy flavor. I like it. Caliente. So now what you need to do is you need to mix this. I like to get my hands in there. And I just kind of look at that mixture to see if it appears to be the right amount of ham, bacon, cheese. It's going to be mostly cheese with equal parts ham and bacon. And it's looking pretty good. You can use lunch meat. I used a spiral baked ham that I got on sale from Meijer. And what you should be able to do is take that cheese and squeeze it, and it shouldn't fall apart. That's looking like it's falling apart a little bit too much, so I'm going to add another egg. So not at Bennigan's, but when I worked at Great Oaks Country Club, if you did exactly what you needed, you'd call that a Reberstadt. Yeah, it's a made-up term, but Reberstat's when you have exactly the right amount of mixture. I'm not going to have the right amount of mixture today for all the chicken breasts that I've cut up. I just wanted to do a small portion here, and we'll see how bored I get with this in the next step. You're going to take the cheese and ham and bacon mixture, place it into the center of your cordon, wrap up your chicken, form it into a ball, lightly coat it in flour, squeeze it again, coat it in your egg wash, into the cornmeal, roll it. I like this step where you squeeze it again, and without doing any more egg wash, go ahead and coat it again. And that's what your chicken cordon is going to look like before you deep fry it. One of the things that might happen when you're doing your chicken cordons is if you've pounded the chicken breast too thin or it's starting to fall apart, you can decide if that's something that you want to keep. I have so many of these, I'm not going to keep this. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take this and save the chicken for another recipe. I'll just rinse that off, but I'm going to reuse this in the middle. This was falling apart too much. I didn't like that chicken breast the way it was holding up. One of the things I'm going to do right now is I'm going to skip the flour, cornmeal, and egg wash, and I'm just going to stage these with just cheese inside of the rolled chicken breast. And what that should do, that should make it a lot easier so that my hands don't get quite as dirty and need as much cleaning. So I'm going to just stage these where I've rolled them. And again, you don't have to have them perfectly wrapped where there's no cheese showing with the chicken breast. Sometimes you'll get a nice large chicken breast where you hardly have any cheese. Other times you'll have some cheese that's sticking out. But you notice how this goes a lot faster where you're not going through all those different steps. If you have another person that can help you, what you can do is one person can do all the cheese, ham, and filling. And then just drop that into the flour, and the next person can end up doing that other flour, egg wash, cornmeal, and cornmeal again. All right, here's the finished product. I've got 20 chicken cordons, and the chicken cordons weigh anywhere from some of the smallest ones about 5 ounces to some jumbo ones that are 3/4 of a pound, 12 ounces, which are really big. It's not going to matter at this point how long I'm going to cook it. I'm basically going to be using this old pot here. This is my old popcorn pot. It's aluminum, and I filled it with about 3/4 of an inch of oil, and I've got it on medium high. We definitely don't want that to smoke, but we want it to be really warm, and we want to have enough to where when we put these in, they're going to cook pretty quickly on the outside. We are not cooking the entire chicken breast. That's going to be in the last step when we bake those. So I've been preheating this, and so what I'm going to do is I want to place a couple of these chicken breasts into the hot oil, and we'll cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes, if even that long. We just basically need them to crisp up on the outside and have some oil to them so that when they cook in the oven, they'll get even more brown. See they're not completely covered, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of spin these around just a little bit. See, they're already starting to brown up just a tad. And if you cook them too long, you'll start to hear popping in there, and I'm hearing a little bit of popping. That popping is some of the cheese that's coming out. So we don't want to cook these very long. I said 3 to 4 minutes, it might only be about 2 minutes. Once I start hearing that popping and that crackling, I want to take those out and I'm going to put those on to a sheet tray with a little rack so that they can dry. Something like that. So I'm just going to put a little sheet tray. I still have a bunch of chicken breasts in the garage, so I don't have my full-size sheet tray for right now, but just going to keep rotating these to make sure that not one side gets done more than the other, and I'm just basically browning these right now. They are not cooking all the way, but some of that cheese that's stuck on the outside is crackling in there. These are looking great already. So probably a better guesstimate would be 2 to 3 minutes if you've got good hot oil. That's what one was going to look like when it's done. Probably about 2.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. All right, we're done cooking our cordons. I just wanted to show you the difference between cooking it at medium heat, medium high to high heat. I actually like the high heat better. The high heat is going to take that cornbread and stick it to the chicken a lot better when you heat it. So these are not ready to eat. These are only been prepped. So now the next step would be, if you're ready to cook them right now, you'd put them in the oven. And since they're room temperature, you'd probably cook them for maybe 10 minutes at 400 degrees. What I like to do is I like to freeze these. I'll wrap them up individually and put them into Ziploc bags, and then take them out, cook them right from frozen, and cook them anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes until that cheese starts oozing. Some of the bigger ones, this 3/4 pound one is probably going to take closer to 30 minutes. Some of the small 5 to 6 ounce ones are only going to take 20 minutes. So what Bennigan's used to do back in the 1980s is they would make a hollandaise sauce and top these with a hollandaise sauce. That's you can find an easy recipe for that. That's just egg, butter, and lemon. The egg yolk, butter, and lemon, and that's an awesome topping. Horrible for you, but you can tell it's already sun shining out. Addison is still, yep, just there in the back. So thank you for watching Yaya's channel. Have a great day.